I'm Sarah.
And I'm Chantel. And we're going to talk about the Challenge USA, episode 9.
That's right. But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Chantel, how are you? You're racing in.
I'm racing in. Well, I went to get my hair done to try to look a little bit more presentable. So my hair looks a little bit nicer. But then my brother's like, oh, I'll drive you. Because I was like by my mom's house. And so I'm like, sure, instead of like taking transit, and it'll be much faster. And then he drives me, and then there's like traffic. And I was like, oh, well, that doesn't help. And literally it was just somebody like that was pulled over in a Porsche. Like there was no accident. Right. There was nothing wild was going on. It was literally just somebody being pulled over. And I was like,
those Porsche drivers.
Yeah.
Come on.
So that's
guys.
it. But I'm here. Happy to be here.
Well, you've got gorgeous hair.
Thank you.
All right. This episode.
I don't remember
on a boat.
Oh yeah, the boat.
You've already talked about it. It'll come back to you as I bring it up here. Cachet on a boat, living her best life, feeling the vibes.
That's really like old school, like the challenge styles. Like the party scenes were a lot of like the atmosphere of the challenge, and so I know that they do go out every week or like every round, and apparently every Saturday they have like I don't know, like a field trip. But like I want to see more of this because I do like seeing how people interact and stuff like that. If you're not going to give us strategy inside the house, like give us a little bit of the party times and people getting a little messy. What's a mess?
Well, it gets messy because the 5 ladies, the ladies minus Angela and Alyssa, are like clink, Fab 5, yes. Literally right next to Angela and Alyssa.
And in my opinion, more like Fab 4 plus Sarah. Sorry, I just had to say it.
I know. I was like, this is the 5? I was just kind of like, oh, okay, this is an odd 5, but I guess everyone except Angela and Alyssa. It's like, that's just literally...
That's what we did learn though from Cachet and all of her exit interviews is that like it wasn't really a thing. So it was kind of like, you know, she was like making a cheers, like someone said this to the Fab 5 and she like cheers Fab 5 and all of a sudden like now it's a thing.
She was like, oh no, it just started in that moment. She was like, I didn't even realize we were like, she's like, I'm yelling out an alliance name because she's living her best life on a boat. But yeah. I mean, that was my first question. Like, when the heck did this start? She was like, oh no, right then in that moment.
It didn't actually exist.
It was not actually a thing, but it's going to definitely get under Angela and Alyssa's skin. Obviously, they're sitting right there. There was nothing sly about this. But moving forward, Ben's not sure what Sarah's doing. And Sarah's upset with Ben for getting closer to Angela.
And you know that Sarah's going to be jealous about this, but Ben seems to be like different from he was in Winners at War, actually looking out for himself. I think he's realizing that like, hey, like it would be good to keep Angela in this game for his own benefit if he were to be running portions of the final with her. So I think that for the first time in a while, we're seeing Ben being a little bit self-interested. And I think that that might be a little bit as to what Sarah's not really vibing with. Like, you're supposed to want to take out my mortal enemy and not want to work with her. And Ben's kind of like, I kind of want to win the money. I'm sorry if you don't like her. Kind of.
He's like, I have to also play the game. Actually, Chantel just did a Snake in the Grass update over on Rob Has a Podcast. Do you want to plug that?
It may be on for the Patreons. I'm not sure if it's going to be released to the public. I'll have to double check on that. But he definitely talked to the 4 women. So Sari, Rachel Riley, Janelle, and Sarah
from the
last. So yeah, on Monday's episode. So he did talk to those 4 women that were playing the game last episode, and so that I know is available for everybody. I'm not sure though if our recap is for Patreons only or if it's open to the public. Not 100%.
Okay. All right. Well, Danny is still worried because he has yet to qualify for the final. those are the sound bites we're getting here at the top.
Yes, and like I feel like we know that he's going to get his money. Like we knew that it was coming. He's kind of been in the backseat a little bit for the rest of the season, but it seems like he still has a really big presence. And so I felt that he's still going to be a significant person in the season, and I thought that he was going to get the money and he was going to be able to run the finals. So I had no doubt that he was going to get his money.
Agreed. All right. Our daily is collect for. They're in this massive stadium. It's a 60,000 seat stadium, which I just love because they're about to run around these seats.
And when we get to the stadium and we get Danny's soundbite that it reminds him when he was playing in the NFL and having the fans screaming and all that stuff, I was like, oh yeah, this is his episode.
You're like, this is Danny's episode.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
How appropriate in a stadium, feeling all coming back to him.
Have you ever been down on the stadium when it's full of fans?
The closest I've been down, I've been in some big stadiums because I come from Florida and we have big stadiums there. I've sat on the first row of seats. That's pretty low, but being on a field, I can't imagine.
I don't know. Like I've had so many interesting experiences. So when I was 12, though, I guess 11, 12, and 13 is when I went to gymnastics camp. And so I definitely remember one year for gymnastics camp, we were doing the halftime show. And so basically we did a hoop routine and then we did like kind of like a gymnastic-y tumbling kind of routine. And like we had to fully like go onto the stage doing like a hoop thing. It was to Kokomo. I actually probably remember the routine to Kokomo. And the other one, is it everybody? I think it's that song was the other one. I think so. Anyways, like that was my, I think, first experience that first and only experience where I had to be down on the field where like this is at the Sky Dome. It was like full packed of people. Pretty big adrenaline rush.
Yes. Oh, that would be so thrilling. I would love it.
Me too.
I always wanted to sing the national anthem down.
Ooh. Do you have a nice voice, Sarah?
It's an okay voice. It was never good enough to sing the national anthem anywhere. So
maybe nowadays, don't they have autotune like on like those microphones? I'm kidding.
I mean, I could if anyone would just give me a chance. Like, I'm not horrible.
I mean, we've seen Tyson recently throw the pitch, right? So
maybe throwing the pitch would be fun too.
That one I'd rather sing the anthem than
I would be better than Roseanne Barr. Remember when she sang?
Exactly.
I would definitely be better than that.
Guys. And you guys have a really good national anthem. So like that would be a fun one to sing.
It's a good one.
It's a good one.
I sing "Oh Canada" because randomly that is a tradition at my college baseball games. Every fifth inning we stand up and we sing "Oh Canada." Random, but grew up doing it.
Yes. I mean, we should have like let's see Sarah. How much does Sarah know of "Oh Canada" right now? Do you know the French part?
Oh yeah, no, definitely gonna stop right there. Yep. Okay, back to this daily. We're collecting 4 tokens all over the stadium. Kayla's like, "Cool guys, Fab Five strategy. Anyone? Crickets. Nothing." Angela and Alyssa are like, "This is how you do strategy."
But so at the beginning of this challenge, like I was already annoyed because I was like 5-2, like that just sucks for them. Like that they could easily just gang up on Alyssa and Angela and take them out really easily. Like they tend to do this on the challenge where they'll have these kind of knockout, which like, yeah, it shows your colors and like, you know, who you're working with. And like, it can be very telling. But like when there's a major alliance, it only really supports them and allows them to take out somebody that's not in the alliance and have somebody in their alliance win. So I was already annoyed at this, but I was like very happy that at least Angela and Alyssa were deciding to like, okay, we're going to just go for Sarah, even though I don't think it's the best decision for them, but at least go for Sarah and try to get her to be thrown in.
Yeah, I don't think it was the best decision, but I just assumed that they were assuming the 5 were coming for one of them. And like they immediately went into defense, right? They immediately were like, okay, they've got more numbers than us. We have got to go hard on Sarah. Had they known that nobody was going to block them, then I doubt they would have done this.
Well, and I mean, even so, though, I do think it's flawed that they even were planning on going for Sarah. I think it would have been a lot funnier if they iced her out, and so that she she didn't have an opportunity to get her money. Like she would have to throw herself
Right.
down. And so
Yeah.
if they had iced out, say, even they iced out Desi or they iced out Cachet, then Cachet would be going in right away, and Sarah wanting to get her money would have to go against one of her own people. So I do think
Yeah.
that they failed in their own strategy, even though in the end, spoiler alert, they do get the outcome that they were hoping for. I think it
Right.
would have been smarter if they went for anybody else other than Sarah in the other alliance.
Yeah, I definitely question. I was like, I part of me has been enjoying the fact that somebody might not qualify for the final, and you are basically giving her a chance to qualify. I
Yeah.
mean, were they deep down thinking that someone was going to beat her? It would have had to have been Angela going against her, and Angela didn't want to do that. So,
It was just straight. I think they just didn't think it all the way through.
yeah,
And they didn't really have a time to talk about it, so they had to kind of just like go and hope that they can get Sarah out right away.
yeah.
And another thing that I wish that they had let us know with the rules is that apparently for every 3 tokens of your own that you place down, you have to sabotage with 1. So a lot of
Oh,
people did have a sabotage to be giving out every 4 pieces. And so I also don't understand why the Fab Five didn't all just use that extra piece to sabotage either Alyssa or Angela.
right.
All of it's a little bit
Well,
strange.
Sarah is running around angry, yelling at everybody, go sabotage Angela and Alessa. She's saying it to men, women, everybody, just yelling. And it did seem a bit haphazard. I was like, Sarah, you still got to focus, like still play the game.
Yeah, she's like stopping and like, you gotta, they're blocking me. Like you
Yeah.
gotta go get them. And I thought it was also rich of her to be like, oh, like I don't respect this type of move. It's like, what? It's actually part of the game. It's actually like they get a piece that they're meant to sabotage every 4
Right.
tokens. Like, so not respecting it, why is there not respect there? Like, it's
No, I mean, literally last episode, she was like, throw me in. The episode before, throw me in. And then when Angela and Alyssa were like, cool, we'll throw you in, she's like, how dare you? I was like, girl, you should be excited. You're going to get your money now. Like,
absolutely. You can have take your pick on whoever you want, but you're not scared of anybody. So like, what does it matter? But I think she did say it at one point in the episode where she's like, you know, I want to choose who I'm going down against, who I want to take the money from. And I'm like, that's why. It's like she doesn't like the fact that they are forcing her into elimination. She wants to do it on her own accord.
Yeah, she wants it on her terms. She's not going to like that Angela has anything to do with her going into elimination. That's what's bugging her. No one seems to really be listening to Sarah, at least per this edit. It looks like Kayla's the only one who's like, I get strategy. Yeah, let's do something. But we do see Dom blocking David, and it's sort of like, I'm helping Danny get this. That was seemingly the goal here. And Danny is going to be able to win this and qualify for the
Woo! But I mean, I'm happy that Danny qualified. But Dom, you really shouldn't want Danny in the final. Like, it really isn't going to benefit you having him there. At this point, I'm thinking that it's either between Tyson and Danny who is going to win this thing if they both make it to the actual final.
And David, what about your David theory?
I mean, that's still my theory. It's still a possibility, obviously, if things go awry.
No, I agree. It feels like a Tyson or Danny win here, but David might be that like,
what happened? Like something screwed up.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know what the format of the actual final is, but at times, like I'm assuming that they're going to be trading out partners, and Tyson could get the wrong partner for the wrong task that could really throw things off. And so I feel like if David were to win, it will be in a situation where the front runners had bad legs and he had all good legs.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that. Well, Desi is also going to be able to pull out the win here, since I don't really know what the women are doing at this point. But yay! Those two are our winners, and Sarah is officially blocked. She can make no moves. She is going into elimination.
I was like, ah.
Okay.
I mean, they probably just wanted to do it just to make her mad. Maybe that's why they decided not to go against the other women. Like everybody knows that they have a vendetta against Sarah, and so maybe they're just trying not to make any other waves here. Or maybe they could be like, "Oh, we were just helping you out."
Right. Look, you get to get your money. But I mean, like, at this point, I'm like, odds are really low that Sarah's going to lose. You know, I mean, she hasn't won a daily yet, but like
she's won.
She's pretty good at most challenges. So I'm thinking like, I mean, yeah, it's going to get dicey here with who they put in, but she's probably going to win her money here at this point.
Agreed. That's why they should have iced her out and maybe forced her to, you know, I'll go down against anyone. Will you? Okay. Let's see.
Yeah. All right. Deliberation here. Sarah's like, this is my time to be in power. And I'm like, you're not quite in power at this point, but she wants to go big. She says, put Angela in. She's got so much money. Let's go.
And it's very interesting that she felt so confident because Desi was in power that like she was going to get whatever she wanted, not even giving Danny any sort of credit or respect or a voice in what was going to be happening this round. I thought that was humorous.
Yes, I was like, where's this coming from? Like, at least pretend, right? Walk into deliberation and be like, you guys are in power. Okay, let's talk it out. I mean, I'd love to go against Angela, like have a conversation, but she like walked in and was like, let me tell you what I want. Let's go. And Desi's like, cool, I'm down with that. And Tanya's like, huh,
I'm not.
How about cachet? And both the ladies are like, huh? No.
I mean, and that's where these deliberations can be interesting because the men and women have different agendas, right? The women want to take out all the other strong women, and the men want to be running with them and vice versa. Right. So like, it really depends on whose agenda is going to be met with these deliberations. And I was really hoping that Danny was going to push back. I didn't want him to just like, you know, appease Sarah and Desi and just like do what they wanted to do. I was hoping, like, I was hoping that he wouldn't do that. And I was so happy with the way that he went with this.
Well, yeah, I was interested to see how he was going to navigate this. You know, I didn't want him to just bend over backwards, but you never know how like hard you can push, right? So it's very interesting to see when he finally gets to talk to Desi alone, where he starts to sort of, you know, twist the narrative here. He talks about this agreement of safety, but he's now throwing Desi and Sarah in as if it's a Survivor plus Angela, Alyssa agreement. And of course, Desi's not buying this. She's like, I've literally not been looped into this. What are you talking about?
And this is probably the first time we've ever really seen Danny kind of fib or lie. And I was like, I mean, this is it's kind of, there's a lot of truth with it. And then they just bring them in and be like, yeah, you guys were always included. I found it funny that Desi was kind of being like, oh, like, I didn't know about this. As if like, couldn't she tell that he literally made it up just to say to her? Like, was she just like forgetting? Like, oh, I didn't realize this in this alliance. Like,
she probably was like, this seems really complex to make up. There's a lot of people involved, but I don't recall being this.
Like, I don't
like
being
what?
Asked.
All of these people?
And then I would also be like, then why was Alyssa and Angela trying to block Sarah?
Yeah.
I'm like, is it because they want her to get money? What? I don't get it.
Yes, that's it. Really working for her. Yeah. It's really interesting. Okay, so now we're going to go to the bar and continue these conversations. Now, this Alyssa, Sarah, what was this? Alyssa's like, hey. And Sarah's like, yeah, cool. And then they didn't really come to any point whatsoever, other than maybe like it's not personal. And then Sarah makes a face as Alyssa leaves. Like, what was this?
What's also really interesting, because you know how we both love signs, they're both cancers. And so I find it very interesting that they don't work well together, or they haven't been able to work well together up until this point. But it's like they both have their crab shell on when they're around each other. There's no trust between them, when they really probably would get along and like each other if they were working together. So I thought
Right.
that's also really interesting, how she's so anti like Alyssa, and it's like, you guys should actually get along. I wouldn't be surprised if you did. And
Right. It's
under
one
other
of those
circumstances.
where you're so similar
Maybe,
that you don't like each other.
maybe be like, I see everything in you I hate because it's all me. Maybe, because actually Alyssa does play similarly with like bring in all your close friends and then stab them in the back. Like, look what she did to Xavier this
Yeah,
season.
it's funny that they're like, it's not personal when, and then you tell me they're cancers and like everything's
It's
personal
very
to a
personal.
cancer. So that's not going to work. Okay, those two. And then we see Dom and Desi, and Desi's like, look, I want to go after Angela. Like, that's what I'm trying to do here. And of course, the guys are like,
What about like cash?
then Danny and Alyssa, and he's kind of like, you gotta help. Like, this is like, Desi needs to be able to trust you. Like, this has to work, which is true. Like, Alyssa and Angela need to like be a part of this.
100%. And now we were talking about it, yeah, on Thursday, as to whether or not there was a conversation that was maybe missed, because I would assume that maybe Alyssa and or Angela went and had a conversation with Desi and maybe promised her a bunch of different things. I feel like something must have happened, because we get that scene and then we didn't get any actual resolution from whether or not they were able to smooth things over. Now, I know it's the producers and the editors wanting to keep it suspenseful, so we don't know what's happening, but I do want to know if they had a conversation.
Yeah, I want to know too, because we definitely see Danny stressing about this. Like, it's obviously a back and forth. We do see Desi sort of make it clear Angela's off the table. It's not going to be Angela. Like, that's a no-go for Danny. But we never see other conversations. And like, the chat is talking about this, and this is my question as well. Like, what if Desi and Danny couldn't come to an agreement? Is there a rule for that?
There's not a specific rule. It's kind of like it would be different in every moment, whatever TJ / the producers decide. What has happened in the past is that then you forfeit your safety and you would go down and compete against that person. So I've never, not off the top of my head, can I remember it ever happening with when it's just one-on-one. The most recent time that I remember it was with two players that were partnered up and they couldn't come into agreement with the other pair that they were going to throw down, and so that means that they had to go down and defend against the last team or whatever. So
Oh, wow.
so Desi would have been on the line here, I believe,
Right.
if that's what they decided to do. And then Tyson was suggesting, like, we didn't know, but maybe we would have gone to like another vote and we'd vote somebody to go down against Sarah.
Gotcha. Because, yeah, I was waiting to see if Danny was like, I'm saying Cachet. And then Desi being like, no, I'm saying Alyssa. And then, that would have been interesting if TJ was like, well, then Desi, you can't decide. You come on down. Or if it had been thrown to a vote, I wonder how that vote would have gone. Probably would not have gone. It probably would end up Cachet, right?
No, it would have ended up Alyssa probably.
Hmm.
Because there'd have been other Force 5 people. Cachet,
Female wise, but if the dudes are voting.
Right. There's a lot of Survivor dudes. Yeah.
All those
Sorry, it would be
Survivor
Cachet.
dudes. I don't know. Yeah. That would have been very, very interesting. Well, we're not going to get that because Danny is going to be running around and putting on the pressure, and Desi's ultimately going to probably be like, not worth the fight. She needs the protection and support of these Survivor guys, Tyson and Danny and Dom, I guess. So they're going to throw Cachet into the arena against Sarah.
And I mean, I knew that this was most likely coming. Either that
Right.
or Alyssa was the other thought, maybe, because like I know Danny does say that he was worried that if they did end up throwing in Alyssa, and whether Alyssa stayed or went, that Angela might come back upset, and Angela still could be in power, and Angela might be able to throw him in and take away his money for going against the alliance.
Yeah.
So I totally understand why he just wanted to avoid that situation completely.
Right.
So I guess the reason why they didn't show us all the information was because it was going to be so obvious that Cachet was going in.
Right. Yeah, there's no reason to throw Angela in at this point if you're Danny, because she is protecting you and she is one of the strongest. She has the best record of the season. Why would you want her to win next week and throw you in?
Exactly.
Like, not worth it at all. All right. Well, this is not a pole fight or whatever you told me it was going to be.
Pole wrestle. I think it's going to be next week because it wasn't the people that it looked like in the preview. So.
Okay. Still excited to find out what the heck that is. This is
you won't like it, so maybe you're not
wheels. Okay. Hamster wheels. We're running on a hamster wheel.
That you probably liked, right? We hamster watch. We love Big Brother.
We do. It's very reminiscent of Big Brother. I didn't hate it, but I also didn't feel like there was much to it. I don't know, these like real quick kind of things. Just I don't know. They set me up this season with some really complex challenges.
Right.
And then now it's like, okay, who can get this wheel going? And unfortunately, Cachet can't even get it started.
And like as soon as she was just like running in space and not able to figure out how to get the momentum to get the wheel going, I was like, okay, Cash loses for sure. Let's speed this up. Let's get this going. Even though round 2, the editing that they used made me believe that maybe she might have won the second round, and so it would go into like a third round. But we realized that they just did some fancy editing and that she did not win. So
yeah, I mean that second heat was close. It made me really wish that she had been able to just get going, and it was actually like close heat 1 and 2. But no. Here we are. You assumed Cachet was probably not going to win, and then she does not win. Then you're like, okay, Sarah has her money. And so the ending of this was sort of like,
yeah, it was a womp womp for me too, especially because I really, like you, just would have loved to see Sarah be the only person on the season that hadn't qualified. Wouldn't that be fabulous?
I just feel like that's such a fun strategy to play with. Don't let someone qualify.
Yeah.
Especially when they're gonna be like a pretty strong competitor in the final. Like, yeah. So here we are. Everyone's qualified. I feel like that kind of takes the air out of this ending as well. It's another womp womp.
Yeah. I mean, I think I told you before, but they've never had it when they had these kind of qualifiers. There's never been a time where everybody didn't get the opportunity to qualify. So no matter what, I was assuming that everybody was going to qualify. It would have been amazing if 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people didn't qualify. Would be so good. It would put the hustle in the next season. People be like, oh, I can't really mess around. Like, nope, this person's he lost. Oh, okay, I want to go against him. Like, throw me in now. Like, let me get my money. Whatever. I would love to see more of that hustle, but it's kind of like people in season 2 will be like, I don't need to worry about my money because I'm most likely going to have enough time to get it. So I feel like they mess up their own strategy and their own, rules in order to make everybody qualify, which kind of is boring.
Yeah, it's definitely boring. Like, why are we even having a qualification? It seems arbitrary.
To make people want to go down. But now people are like, nah, I don't need to.
Well, I gotta say, these last couple episodes have not been as thrilling, and I kind of am ready for the final here.
Almost there. I believe we have one more episode next week, and then a double episode the following week. Finally, because that's like the regular length of the challenge is usually an hour and a half. So it'll be nice to have more going on. We're assuming, so I was talking with Drew yesterday, and we're just kind of assuming that maybe it's going to start off as like it'll be a men's elimination day, and then it'll go into like a women's elimination kind of like and then overnight, and then I don't know. So we're thinking that we're going to still have it separately. That's what he was thinking, even though I was thinking it was going to go back to having a double elimination. So not sure how they're going to.
Are you talking about this week coming up or the final?
This week coming up.
Yeah.
Because they just don't have enough people right now. So we're trying to figure out how do they have the episodes without the amount of people. Because usually when we get to the final, there's usually at least 4 people in the final, and then somebody gets purged at some point. 2 people get purged.
Right.
So at least 4. And then I think we're even.
12, yeah, we have 12 people. 6 and 6.
So like I'm assuming that a guy and girl should go next week, but Drew was thinking that they might stretch things out, so I'm not sure. But
I mean, I don't know how the show works, but they should definitely get rid of 2 people next week.
That's what I think, but we'll see who's right, me or Drew.
Okay, you are Drew. Got it. Well, if you guys didn't catch it yet, my exit interview with Cachet is posted. Check it out. She does reveal things like, whoops, it got real messy. And I outed a new alliance right on the boat. And that was pretty funny. But she also talked about, like, she was like, I didn't trust Desi. I wasn't working with Desi. She's like, I didn't realize that I was in an alliance all of a sudden.
Uh-huh.
I was like, yeah, I felt like this vibe was odd.
Exactly. We were like, when did this happen? And we were like, oh, it hasn't happened. It's just something that was aired on the show, and it made it seem like something was happening. But really, it wasn't a real thing.
This is a good question, Danita. If it's 4 and 4, who are you rooting for, Chantel?
So Danny, Tyson, David, Enzo?
No, who's another guy?
Dom.
But Enzo. Is that it?
Yeah.
David, Tyson, Danny, Enzo, Dom. There has to be a 6. Aren't we 6 and 6 right now?
Oh, maybe. Who am I missing? That's also probably indicative. Oh, Ben. I'll put Ben in. I'll put Ben in there. Fine.
Yeah, I'd rather Ben. Danny,
Ben, yeah.
Tyson, Danny, Ben, and David.
Okay.
3 survivors and a random underdog Big Brother.
Okay, I'm fine with that. And then for the women, basically the same.
I need Angela.
Yeah, of course we need Angela.
God.
Yes,
I'm sorry, but the unbothered queen, the ice queen,
love her.
I love her on this show.
People hate her so much. They're like, she's so boring. I'm like, I don't find her boring at all. Her stoicness, I find fascinating.
Fascinating.
I want to like hear her strategy. I listen. I pay attention when she's on the screen because I know when she's doing when she's talking to someone, she's strategizing, and she doesn't waste time. And so I'm team Angela for sure.
Like, she might not be an enjoyable person to live with. Like the way that Desi was like, I complimented her jewelry, and she was like, of course, diamond. Like maybe she does come across a certain way, but I'm sorry, on television, I just love that she is so ice queen. I love it on this show, and it's really fun against Sarah, who's like can't handle it. She cannot handle Angela just being like completely confident and amazing. So actually it's fun together. All right. So Angela, Desi, I'm loving Desi. I need Desi.
I do. I need Desi in there. I need Justine there. And Justine or Alyssa. Should we dump Alyssa and keep Justine? Because we need Sarah in the final. I need her to lose. I need her to.
Hi, James.
Hi, James.
Wish we could list James in the final, but
next season 2. I
don't know. My heart wants Kayla, but I feel like we have to have
Kayla will be in the final.
Sarah.
I think Kayla is so under the radar that I think that she will not receive any bullets. You know what I mean? Like if people start aiming at each other, I think that she might be able to sneak by. And so I do think that Kayla will be in the final. So Angela, Kayla,
Desi, and
Sarah. Oh my God.
That means we lose Justine
and Alyssa? Ooh.
I mean, losing Justine and Alyssa is going to be good television because they both have great potential. Boy, this group of girls is actually much stronger. Like we easily got rid of dudes in our list. We're like, get rid of them.
That's what I'm saying. Because I like 4 out of the 5 Fab 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I like Alyssa and Angela. So
Right.
most of the women.
Yeah, no, I like all the women left, so that's gonna be tough to lose any of them. But yeah. All right, interesting. Well, it might not even be four, but we're just guessing from past seasons that it'll be
I'm
four.
sure the beginning of the final will be 4, and then we'll lose maybe a team or 2 people.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Desi, Kayla, Sarah. Okay, I mean that's a fair group. That's our group.
Yeah, that's our group.
Right. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what we said.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. What's wrong with Angela? Remember that?
Yes, I totally
Big Brother,
do.
guys. Big Brother. Oh my God. I think Angela should be like a staple on the challenge. I don't
I
know that
agree.
that's something she'll do, but
If she wins, this could be a nice bag of cash, like 6 weeks, $250,000. Not bad. Not bad.
I'll take it.
I totally would take it, and I would do it twice a year easily.
I wouldn't do half of the things that they had to do for that money.
What wouldn't you do?
I just wouldn't. I mean, I would try to do them all. Like I'm down to. No, I'm not down to drop that building for trivia.
What?
I can't drop, guys.
Sarah,
you can't drop me.
Sarah, but would you at least go up there and scream and be like,
yeah, yeah.
Like I would at least get that, and then you could say like, I can't do it, I quit, and TJ hates quitters, and you'd have to deal with that.
No, I can't quit either. Like I hate quitters too, TJ. I'm with you. But what was the season of Amazing Race where someone, is James still here? Where someone was at the top of, it was like a big water slide, and it was a female. Was it Rachel Riley? They stood up there and they like cried for what seemed like hours, and then I don't think they even went through with it. And I was so mad at that person. I will never be that person, although I would act like that person, but I wouldn't quit.
Now, Sarah, if we were to ever go on a vacation together, you know that I would make you do adventure like excursions, and we'd do like zip lining.
Zip lines, I'd love it.
And but water slides sometimes are in the zip line. Okay, slides. You do it. Okay.
Yes,
okay,
it's just dropping. I will not skydive. Like I will not jump out of a plane. And I don't want to bungee jump, like any kind of dropping. But yes, zip line me.
Okay, fine.
Put me up tall. Like I'll do heights.
Okay.
I'll walk out on a mountain,
but not roller coasters.
If it drops, no.
That's the best part.
If it's loop-de-loop, sure. No, it is not the best part.
Well, that's the part that you're like, you guys anticipating like what the drop's gonna be like, and they're like,
my body literally tenses up, and then I have like a migraine for 24 hours. It's not a pretty picture.
Maybe you need to relax.
Yes, I do. I do need to relax. It was very difficult. No, I wouldn't survive some stuff, but I would still do it. If you agree to go on the show, you got to do it.
Okay, good. I was getting worried, Sarah. I was like,
just like I'm, basically vegan, but if you tell me to eat like a cow's brain, I'm gonna do it.
Yes, that's one thing that I'm kind of worried about for the final, because sometimes they make people eat those type of things, and I don't know everybody's dietary restrictions, but I hope it just doesn't affect anybody.
No. You got to do it if you sign up for these shows, but it's it's real rough.
I mean, I'm veganish and like kind of like you, but sometimes I'll eat fish. But pretty much no animal dairy or animal products. Yeah. But if I was on The Amazing Race, I would eat that cow testicle. Give it to me.
You have to. You just have to.
Drip down my mouth. I'd eat those maggots. Even though that would be worse, though. That'd be harder for me to do. But I would.
Oh yeah, didn't we talk about that? I was like, I'll take mac and cheese over like whatever dropping thing they were doing.
Okay, well, you do mac and cheese, I'll do the drop. Like, if you want to devour the mac and cheese, like, go right ahead. Like, doesn't it bother you when they're saying on The Amazing Race how dry it was? Like, why is it so dry? You think it'd be like juicy.
No, they're like chalk coming out of their mouth.
So gross. James, sorry if you're still here and we're reliving your nightmare. Wait, no, it wasn't James' season. But
it wasn't his season, but he covered Australia with me, and we had a whole in-depth talk about food challenges, because they had to eat like raw eggs, and it was
I remember that. They had to do like
yeah.
the 3 different sizes, right? It was that season?
Yes.
And,
Yes, it was so much raw egg.
like, raw egg is already quite vile, and, like,
And oysters.
oysters I can deal with.
Yeah, I can too. I grew up
Uh,
on oysters.
Oysters, definitely. Even if there's no mignonette, I could down a gazillion oysters. They don't really occupy any space. But,
Yeah.
like an egg yolk, the consistency is disgusting, in my
I mean,
opinion.
it's real tough consistency, and you just have to down it and you have to move on with your life and
There's
get
so much
through
that
it.
they had to down.
Yeah.
Oh, the thought of it
It's
is
a lot.
making me gag.
Okay. We should stop talking about this. Everyone is disgusted at this point. All right, you guys, thank you for joining us live. We really appreciate it. And if you are joining later, leave a comment. Let us know how you're feeling about this season. How much do you love the Sarah Angela rivalry?
I mean, I do like it. It's funny.
It's pretty good for television. I'm not gonna lie. And who you're rooting for this final? One more episode, then we get there.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we will see you guys next week. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.